It's another day, the sun is shining. Got to know what's going on around you. Wake up, it's the time to motivate your mind. Come with me, let's make this moment brighter. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Come on and wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Hey.
Okay.
Three.
Good morning. Welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise, TGIF. I am Philip Simon.
And I'm Gandhi Pinder, filling in for Anastasia Palacios. Another fantastic Friday.
Another fantastic Friday. We are so happy that you joined us once again for another, I guess, lively and no, that's probably somebody else.
Lively on
Always, always times here at Bahamas at Sunrise. Gandhi, so good to see you once again.
Yeah, likewise. Good to see you as well. And, we're celebrating birthdays, we're celebrating life. We are trying to navigate through this new normal together. And the country, the countdown until we're officially open, right?
Well, it's still a ways to go, but Monday obviously is going to be steps in the right direction towards a phased reopening of the country. It does have a little bit of a different feeling, though. I really trust that come Monday, we don't just go buck wild, right?
Right. And we just have to adhere to the protocols, the advice from the health professionals. I know some people probably feel like it sounds so elementary. Wash your hands, wear your mask, and people say it over and over and over again, but it's something that we shouldn't take for granted. And, it must be very difficult to teach children to follow these protocols, but I encourage the parents to try to make it fun. Get your children maybe masks with a little design on it, something that they could look forward to wearing. For the young kids, maybe something with Paw Patrol or Peppa Pig, or you gotta make it fun.
It's habits, right? Habits are, hard to change once they become developed. I'm not as much worried about the children as I am about the adults. Children you can teach, right? Certainly you can teach and you can reinforce and develop good habits. It's these adults, man, that I'm really concerned about, because our habits have been ingrained. This is something that's kind of relatively new to us on this side of the world. So, every once in a while you kind of forget, and then you kind of take things for granted.
Let's go back to what my grandmother said: if you don't hear or if you don't learn, you can feel. So we have to do what we have to do. But you know what, Phil? There is so much going on around the world. And today is the anniversary of Dr. Martin Luther King's March on Washington and the I Have a Dream speech, which was originally called Normalcy Never Again. And Dr. King spent a lot of time in the Bahamas. And as we see people marching and the protests and all over the world, you see kind of like people starting to march again, right? And people starting to fight for and stand up for what they believe in. And back then it was civil rights and justice and the March for Freedom and Jobs and Equality. But, George Floyd kind of sparked something and was like the catalyst. And now we see people calling for Breonna Taylor and just coming together and just marching, even young people. And I said, wow, look at the urgency of now.
Well, I was, as soon as I saw the shirt in full detail, I was reminded that, yeah, you're right. This is the time, and I remember the anniversary. But I wonder what Dr. King would be saying if he was here today, seeing all that's going on. I mean, early in the week, you saw in America again. Police shooting Jacob Blake, a young man, 7 times. Of course, there are different angles of what happened, but I think the general consensus is there must be a better way. There must be a better way for interaction between those in authority and those who are being taken into authority. I just think it's just so unjustified to shoot somebody 7 times in the back.
I think he would say and say what he's always been saying, everyone can be great because everyone can serve. I think he would say, you know, if you're silent when things that matter, that's the real injustice. I think he would say intelligence plus character, that's the goal of true education. I think he would continue to talk about peace, how it's more precious than gold and silver, and talk about like unity and working together and coming together and being judged by the content of your character. And he would talk about an America where everybody is created equal, in a world where we live in love. And that was his message, and he never came off message, and he lived that. And so even the people who are demonstrating, you see the peaceful protests, you also have the other side as well too, but he would call for peace and call
Well,
for everyone to come together and for peace to reign in our hearts.
well, I really hope that the message begins to resonate in a really, really different kind of way, because again, it's become a global dialogue, and maybe that's a great thing, right? That we're talking about it all around the world. Equality, all of the things that you just said so eloquently, Gandhi. But listen, Bahamas at Sunrise is here. It's another Friday edition. We've got another great show lined up for you. The Department of Inland Revenue is here to tell us all about the VAT holiday. Or is it?
I look, I'm ready for it. I need a holiday. The
Well,
VAT holiday.
just in time for school, though, just in time for school. And of course, we'll talk about technology in our Focus on Education series, which has been well received, Gandhi. Everybody has been quite interested to hear from the ministry and the Department of Education.
I love that. And I encourage people to follow Bahamas at Sunrise on YouTube and Facebook, so you could stay connected and find out and follow these amazing stories. And then, of course, Gowan Bo will discuss the need for a comprehensive COVID plan for the economy. And we'll hear from the Elks Lodge about their virtual March on Washington. And we were just talking about the March on Washington. I heard that Linden actually was in the March on Washington. And, you know, Dr. King used to frequent the Bahamas and got a lot of the inspiration for the speeches that he wrote right here. We also want to make sure that you join us for a new series that's going to debut on Monday. And the team at Doctors Hospital Health Systems, they'll be presenting the series Surviving COVID, Controlling Your Risk Factors, every Monday for the next 2 months. And we'll be discussing XYZ. All of the details about what's happening with
all of the details. In fact, again, we also, TCL is starting a new webinar series. It's called Workforce Recovery, Challenges, Re-engagement, Retraining, Redeployment, and that's also going to be happening on Tuesday at 10:30 a.m. Of course, we encourage everybody to register at tclevents.com.
tclevents.com. You know, I have to get my maracas, Phil, because we have birthdays. Happy birthday to Dr. Veronica McIver. And she celebrated her birthday. You know, she's the first female dentist in the Bahamas and the first Black woman to graduate from her university, from the School of Dentistry.
I believe I do recall that. Well, since you're saying it, I might as well say happy birthday to Nicole Watson. Well, Nicole, I'm sorry if I'm forgetting this name right now, but happy birthday to you. Classmate of mine from way back in the day.
Yeah, and then also Sharon Stewart, she celebrated as well. So we want to say happy birthday to her. And I must say, top of the morning to my amazing producer, Miss Elaine Pinder. Who knew? She's walking in this calling as a producer, and she's doing a fantastic job. Suzette, you all going to have to add her to the credits now. I want to see Elaine Pinder rolling at the end of the credits as one of the producers, okay?
Listen, now we can have our first look with weather. You know what, Gandhi? Go ahead, you do it.
Thank you. On this day when we celebrate the I Have a Dream and the March on Washington, the legendary Godfrey Burnside with our first look at weather.
Yeah.
Weather at Sunrise, brought to you by Bahamas First in Insurance, today, tomorrow.
Thank you, Gambia. Good morning, Bahamas. Yes, weather sunrise. I flash up a bit to the down level across the island. We're still watching a low-level trough that will support some showers and thunderstorms, particularly the northwest and parts of central Bahamas. today through tomorrow. Today, though, partly sunny, hot and humid, with a few showers, and possible thunderstorms. The high temperature reaching 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Your heat index 105. Tonight, another warm and muggy one with a few showers, isolated thunderstorms possible. Your low temperature going down to 80 degrees Fahrenheit. And some regional highs and lows across the Caribbean, Barbados 84 and 81. In Jamaica, 87 and 74. In Trinidad, 87 and 78. And the place in Cape Islands, 91 and 80. Across North America, Atlanta, 85 and 75. In Raleigh, 94 and 76. In Miami, 92 and 81. Dallas, Texas, 101 and 77. Toronto, Canada, 74 and 62. Next 5 days, pretty good weekend so weather-wise. High pressure continues to dominate the future. We're talking about partly sunny skies, hot and humid, but by Sunday, we're going to increase those showers as we're going to come more to the south. Temperature daytime will be in the low 90s, at nighttime around the 80-degree mark. That puts you up in your first look at weather sunrise. I'm glad to go inside. Bahamas and Sun will be back after a short commercial break.
Treeline Divine Professional Sanitizing Company can meet all your cleaning needs. Sanitize to kill the COVID-19 virus, bacteria, mold, and more. Catering to offices, schools, clinics, and restaurants. Call us at 601-2213 or 437-2982 or email us at treelinedivine@gmail.com.
The sports we play depend on the health we build. So let's stay healthy. Wear a mask and practice social distancing and hand washing to protect yourself and others. Remember, COVID-19 is not a game.
A public service message from the Bahamas Olympic Committee.
Good afternoon. First response. How can I help you?
I've been in an accident on West Bay Street. Can you send someone to help?
Yes, ma'am. A first response team will be there in 15 minutes. Are you hurt?
No, I'm fine, but a bit upset.
We're glad you're not hurt. Please, try to relax. Our team will take care of everything as soon as they arrive.
First Response provides immediate on-site service and support from the scene of an accident through the claims and repair process. And it's free to all Bahamas First insured drivers in New Providence, every day for any type of accident. If you drive and want first response on your side, call 321st or visit bahamasfirst.com for the name of an authorized Bahamas First agent. First response can't prevent an accident from happening,
But it can certainly ease your mind when it happens.
Business in the Box is your solution for business from Cable Bahamas. It's an internet, voice, mobile, and advertising solution all in one place. Get reliable internet, free domestic call, and a live corporate package, and free TV ad placement, all starting with packages as low as $164 a month. You can save over $3,000 a year. Just call 601-8911. That's 601-8911. And ask for Business in a Box from Cable Bahamas Business Solutions. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back to the show. The Department of Inland Revenue has announced a VAT holiday tax relief measure intended to make back-to-school shopping less expensive for parents while providing support to local businesses throughout the Bahamas. Here to tell us more about that are Gaynell Rowe, Acting Controller in the Department of Inland Revenue, and Patricia Jackson, Legal Consultant. Good morning, ladies. Welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning. Good morning, Bahamas.
You guys look like you're well already into your work day. So good to have you here. So listen, we're going to be talking about the VAT holiday. Of course, I believe this measure was announced during the budget debate or subsequently thereafter. But talk about exactly what that means. Is this the first time that we're doing it? And how is it going to work?
Oh yeah, this is the first time that we're doing the VAT holiday here in the Bahamas. And the purpose of the tax relief measure, as announced during the budget debate, is to make back to school shopping less expensive for parents while also providing support for our local businesses here in the Bahamas.
All right. So when we talk about I guess, an exemption on VAT for a period of time, what items will be given this VAT zero rated status, and what period of time will this last?
Okay, so the holiday is going to begin on Monday, this coming Monday, the 31st of August, and it's going to take us straight into the 28th of September. So we have a long period. We're looking at making sure that it covers all of our schools, the opening of our private schools, of government schools, and we have a number of items for back to school supplies. When you think about it, you're going to think about your computers, you're going to think about your rulers, your pencils, for our teachers, all of the stuff that they would decorate the boards with. You're going to think about snacks. You're going to think about be doing school virtually on the first phase. So we're looking at our computers, all of our technology and digital items. So it's a wide variety of all of those items that parents would normally think and students would normally think that they would need for going back to school.
Well, that's interesting. Hopefully that list is available somewhere, because you know some Bahamians will be somewhere saying, listen, food should be a part of that list as well, right?
Oh yes, we have a lot of snack items. We
Okay.
have a lot of snack items available for that, but we have a comprehensive list that is available on the DIR website. That's www.inlandrevenue.finance.gov.bs. And we're doing a lot of promotion. You can look in your local newspapers. Coming up, you're going to see that list that is going to be available as well.
Okay, excellent, excellent. Ms. Jackson, when we talk about, a local VAT holiday, of course, some people shop abroad, some people import things. Will this VAT exemption apply to those items as well? Imported items?
No, the VAT holiday will only apply to local purchases. So imported items would not be included.
All right, I hope people are
It's
listening.
at the point of sale, whether wholesale or retailer. Once it's within the Bahamas, and it's on the list, then it would be applicable.
So which merchants can participate in this, and how does it practically work? I mean, obviously, they would know already what items are going to be exempted, and when somebody walks into the store, would that be reflected on their receipts?
Yes, it will be reflected on the receipts, and it will also be it's applicable to all VAT registrants. So once a merchant is a VAT registrant, then they are required to give the benefit to their customers. There will be signs in the stores, because we are aware that persons may not be able to reprice the items that are already on their shelves, and we're not requiring that based on the time frame. And so what we have required is that persons put signs within the stores to indicate which items are now VAT-free for this 3-week period. And it will be reflected on the receipts as well.
Right. Given that there's so many different types and classifications, are the items listed or are they in categories? I would imagine it could become a little bit complicated depending on what the items are, and it might be open to interpretation maybe for some customers or even some merchants, but it's strictly going by what is listed.
Yes, it's based on what is listed. And of course, if persons have any queries, they can refer those to us so that we can make clarification. But the list is very comprehensive to cover. We met with stakeholders, and it's covering most of the items that we expect that parents and teachers, students would be requiring during this period.
Okay, excellent. Ganel, we talk about taxes all the time. It's always good news whenever you can get a little bit of relief, but obviously this is intended to help out those who may be struggling at this time. It's been a really difficult 2020, and certainly COVID has just taken us to the brink in many instances. How will this help the local economy?
So it will help the local economy by stimulating the economy once to get sales back up and going. As you know, persons have limited resources. So what we're saying is that we're going to encourage persons to shop at home. With limited resources, the first thing you think about is, where can I get more value for my buck. And most persons will say, you know what, if I shop abroad, if I go to Walmart, if I go to JCPenney's, I'm going to get it less expensive. So what we're doing is offering that tax break. So you would see that the prices here are competitive, and that we're going to encourage you to shop at home so we can get the economy back up and running. Just want to piggyback a bit on Ms. Jackson on the items that merchants are offering, the comprehensive list that we have. And so you would see on the comprehensive list, for example, let's just say juice, right? And it's inclusive of all juice. The list is not meant to be so restrictive. It's more so to give a guidance as to some of the items that persons would enjoy while going back to school or preparing for going back to school. So you'll be able to go in the store and pick up your juice. So we didn't say 100% juice or cherry flavored juice. It says juice. So for merchants, it's those broad categories and anything that fall under those broad categories. We would have cookies, anything that fall under cookies that you would deem to be cookies. We have our computers. As you know, the limit on those, some of the items are priced with a limitation that the merchants assisted us with because we held consultation with our stakeholders. And we have a $3,000 limit per item. So you can actually go into a store and purchase a computer up to a value of $3,000 and there will be no VAT charge on that. So it's per item and the categories are broad. They're not meant to be very restrictive. They are to serve as a guideline for some of those items that are being offered for back to school.
All right, well, that's great. Once again, give us that website for persons who are probably wanting to get their list together come Monday.
Okay, that website again is www.inlandrevenue.finance.gov.bs, or feel free to shoot us an email, gaynellroll@bahamas.gov.bs, LePage Gardner @bahamas.gov.bs, Benjamin Miller @bahamas.gov.bs, or Ms. Shonda Strawn @bahamas.gov.bs. As you can see, we have a number of staff on hand to assist this process. It's the first for us here in the Bahamas. We're extremely excited to offer this. As you would see in most other countries that is offering this VAT holiday, it's normally over a weekend period. But given the current dispensation of what we're going through now in the economy, the government thought it fitting that we would offer it over an expanded period of time. And consumers are excited. We're getting calls in, we're getting emails in, where consumers are really excited about the VAT holiday that's being offered by the government.
Absolutely, it's time to stock up. Gaynell, thank you so much. Acting Controller in the Department of Inland Revenue. Patricia Jackson, I noticed your email wasn't listed there, but that's okay. Legal consultant. DIR. Ladies, thank you so much for being here on Bahamas.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
Thanks for having us.
All right, you're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
Treeline Divine Professional Sanitizing Company can meet all your cleaning needs. Sanitize to kill the COVID-19 virus, bacteria, mold, and more. Catering to offices, schools, clinics, and restaurants. Call us at 601-2213 or 437-2982 or email us at treelinedivine@gmail.com.
Do you want to know more about the scriptures, the early Christian church, its teachings, suffering, other religions, the authenticity of the Bible? The Anglican Theological Institute is for you. Enroll in a 3-year certificate program. Classes are conducted from Nassau and Freeport on Saturday mornings. Don't miss a class. Stay connected anytime, anywhere, with high-speed internet. Contact us at 603-2481. Visit our Facebook page. Pick up an application form at any Anglican church or at Addington House on Sands Road. The Anglican Theological Institute is for you.
Nourish your immune system, nourish your health, nourish your life with Ensure, Ensure Original, Ensure Plus, and Ensure Max Protein.
And welcome back. You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise, and we're so happy to be here with you this morning. We're continuing our 10-part series, Focus on Education, as students, parents, and educators prepare to return to school 100% remotely on September 21st. Here to talk with us about technology today is Charmaine Sinclair. She's the Assistant Director at the Ministry of Education. Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning, Ms. Pinder. Thanks for having me.
And you sound like an educator. You sound like a teacher. Whatever you are going to share this morning, we're going to soak it all in.
All right, good.
Yes. So I guess we could start with the ministry's new technology policy, because a lot of people were wondering how this was going to look.
Yes, yes. So as you may be aware, and some may not be aware, the Ministry of Education has developed 3 instructional models for the safe reopening of schools. We're always guided by the Ministry of Health officials as they determine what the situation is or the condition is on the ground. The Minister of Education would have announced previously that schools will be reopened in the virtual or remote learning model, which for us means a heavy dependence on technology. Being ready with a device where you're able to receive and submit content, our learning content, being able to connect with teachers via a school's website, that is also going to be implemented. And generally just keeping learning going, but in a safe and healthy manner. That's where we'll begin.
Wow. Well, safe and healthy, those are definitely the key words. There are so many questions that I have, and I'm sure that a lot of parents have these questions as well, too. Yes. How is the ministry promoting access to these devices through partnership with parents?
Yeah, so I am pleased to say that the community and private partners have really rallied. They have approached the Ministry of Education. There are several organizations that are working with us, as well as service providers within the country. The Ministry of Education has determined what would be the minimum specs and kinds of devices that students would need in order to connect to the learning management platform that we're going to be implementing. And so we're asking parents for the upper primary and the secondary students to see if at all possible to have them have laptops that would work best for them. Lower primary and preschoolers, they may use that 10-inch tablet. You know, the hand-eye coordination is important in the lower primary and as well as the preschool level. And so we are not just partnering for devices, we're also trying to guide parents as to what they should get, what would be best. Right. And so acquiring devices, but also making parents aware, because we've had parents call, email, text to say, I want to get something now, tell me what to get. And so we've provided that information on our website.
What about those who may not be so technologically savvy? What training is there available for even the parents who usually have to help the students with their homework?
Yes, well, you know, this is new for all of us in terms of going totally digital. And that also requires training for our teachers, because this integration of technology has always been a part of what we do in the last few years, integrating technology in the classroom, but now you are in cyberspace integrating and using technology. So training begins as early as this week coming for our school administrators. That begins on Monday. Our teachers will be during the following week, they will be trained. And we are also making videos and webinars available to parents. So those will be posted on all of our social media sites. We have an email already established for parents. They can ask us questions, find out what it is that we're going to do. So that would be school reopening at moe.edu.bs. They can connect with us that way, or just go to our website And we're also setting up hotlines for those parents who in the middle of the day will say, now, I don't know what happened. What happened? Give me that number, let me call them and get some guidance.
Share the website with us, please.
Yeah, so we have the social media presence, and that would be a Ministry of Education Bahamas.com, Ministry of Education Bahamas.com. But if you have a burning question, you need to connect with someone. We have persons standing by to answer you, and that would be school reopening at moe.edu.bs.
Okay, well, I really want to thank you for your time today. And I really want to salute the educators, the teachers, the people who are putting this all together, because people say, hey, we're showing up on Zoom and it's virtual. I have a lot of friends who are teachers, and there is so much work that goes into it. It's like they're more busy than ever before, than even when they were actually physically on premises. So thank you to you, and thank you for all that you do.
Thank you. And I just want to send a shout out to all of our teachers. Kudos to you. As you've said, they've really risen to the occasion. They are passionate about what they do, and they have decided, I'm just going to step up to the plate and make sure that my students continue their learning.
Absolutely. Well, I'm so happy that this focus on education is actually a series. So I'm sure that we will hear much more from you. And I want to check in to see how students are doing and parents, to make sure that they have the devices, and even if there's anything that corporate Bahamas can do, because I'm sure that there are still a lot of students who need assistance with getting a laptop or getting the particular handheld device that they need, even access to internet. So thank you, Ms. Sinclair, for all that you do. Have a great day, and give our regards to the minister.
Thank you.
Okay, everyone, you're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. Thank you for joining us. We'll be right back after this.
Treeline Divine Professional Sanitizing Company can meet all your cleaning needs. Sanitize to kill the COVID-19 virus, bacteria, mold, and more. Catering to offices, schools, clinics, and restaurants. Call us at 601-2213 or 437-2982, or email us at treelinedivine@gmail.com.
Welcome to Doctors Hospital. As the Bahamas reopens, we at Doctors Hospital have been hard at work preparing for the new normal. The health and safety of our patients, associates, and others entering the hospital space is ever paramount and shapes the experience as you enter our facilities. All persons entering the hospital will be COVID screened, which includes a temperature check and a few short questions. There's also mandatory hand and shoe washing stations upon entry. Masks are required and can be provided if necessary. To further limit contact, Doctors Hospital has launched a concierge service that allows for pre-registration, a hospital itinerary, in-car waiting, and a navigator to guide you through your visit. Our pharmacy is now offering curbside pickup and delivery services for prescriptions as well. Social distancing markers are placed around the facility, and scheduling for imaging, including CAT scans, mammograms, and 3T MRIs. Laboratory, including our new same-day COVID-19 PCR testing, rehabilitation, and other services, has also been adjusted. Doctors Hospital is here to serve you with the same quality and care that you've come to expect, even as we enter a new normal. Now, more than ever, Doctors Hospital continues to be trusted and best care now. Isn't your health worth it?
Business in the Box is your solution for business from Cable Bahamas. It's an internet, voice, mobile, and advertising solution all in one place. Get reliable internet, free domestic call, and a live corporate package, and free TV ad placement, all starting with packages as low as $164 a month. You can save over $3,000 a year. Just call 601-8911. That's 601-8911. And ask for Business in a Box from Cable Bahamas Business Solutions. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. I'm Philip Simon.
I'm Gandhi Pinder. Phil, it's always a joy to co-host with you, you know?
Well, thank you very much. Same with you. Again, I'm really digging that shirt. I hope you have that in extra large somewhere.
Yeah, you know, I got this when I started to work on the documentary, The Untold Story of Dr. Martin Luther King in the Bahamas. And it has like a little quote in the back says, "A piece of paradise." And it makes me just realize and feel so proud to be Bahamian, that it truly is better in the Bahamas, that with all of the dogs and the marches and being locked up and the freedom rides, that this would be Martin Luther King's sweet escape to the island of Bimini and to visit his friend Adam Clayton Powell, right?
Well, I tell you what, we have to continue to make this the sweet escape. We're probably up to about 100, 100 cases of COVID, 50 deaths. It has to be a collective effort. It's on our mind every day. Even we're talking about the phase reopening the economy, we still have a collective responsibility to each other.
Well, we do see the numbers going up, and you talk about the economy. So I'm excited about your interview with Gowan Bo, really, and everything that's left to come. So he's going to talk about that comprehensive plan to rebound the economy, and I am interested in hearing what that's going to be.
Yeah, we also have an interview with the Grand Exalted Ruler of the Elks Lodge, who will tell us about the virtual March on Washington. I think that's happening today, Gandhi, at 11 o'clock.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm excited, and I want to see. I want to hear all about it. You know what, Phil?
What?
No, I had a joke, but I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna save that for the end. Hold on, so you can hear that at the end.
It was like, oh my God, here we go. But anyway, listen.
But you know, Phil, it was so interesting with that focusing on education segment, and I was really curious to know how many of the students actually have access to devices. And I'm in this like think tank group that Andy Ingram started, and I see people talking about how they can contribute, because if you look at the numbers, about 60% of students are using their smartphones. And how difficult is that to see the screen and to navigate and attach documents and Word documents, especially if you just have a regular phone?
But I tell you what, again, it's one of those things where community comes into play, all hands on deck, family members. We have to support each other. We can't just leave it up to those who may not be as privileged, because again, the opportunity may pass them by. And of course, the most important thing that we can give our children right now is education. But listen, we're going to be talking more of that. We still got more sessions to go with the Ministry of Education up until school opens on the 21st. But first, the man, the myth, the legend, Godfrey Burnside, with our second look with weather.
Weather at Sunrise, brought to you by Bahamas First. First in insurance, today, tomorrow.
Thank you, sir, and good morning, Bahamas. Seeing your second look at weather sunrise, trip around the tropics, and we are monitoring two systems. Laura is now downgraded to depression, Mississippi, but we're watching two tropical waves, one 1,000 miles east of the Windward Islands, moving westward at 15 miles per hour, and over the next 5 days has a 30% chance of formation. And then there's a second tropical wave with the eastern ladder just west of the Cabo Verde Islands. This system also has a 30% chance of formation over the next 5 days. Elsewhere, tropical storm formation expected during the next 5 days. On the local scene, high pressure dominated the feature across the island, while low-level troughing will support some showers and thunderstorms. In your marine forecast today, winds southeasterly at 10 to 15 knots, 2 to 4 feet over the northwest and central Bahamas, east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots, 2 to 4 feet over the southeastern islands. On Saturday, those winds become southeast to south at 10 to 15 knots, 2 to 4 feet, but falling light and variable at times over the northwest and central Bahamas, east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots, 2 to 4 feet over the southeastern islands. On Sunday, those winds continue southeast to south at 10 to 15 knots, 2 to 4 feet, falling light and variable in the northwest and central Bahamas, east to southeast at 10 knots or less, seas less than 3 feet over the southeastern islands. Your tides. You can expect a low tide at 10:40 this morning. Next high tide is 5:10 this evening. Low again tonight at 11:42. Sunset will be at 7:33 this evening. Rises tomorrow at 6:50. UV index 9. The water temperature 83 degrees Fahrenheit. Honeymoon phase. Now moving towards the first quarter. External look. Partly sunny skies and hot and humid conditions with a chance of afternoon showers and thunderstorms. So the weekend, temperature can be in the low 90s. At nighttime, around 80-degree mark. That's what you're up in your phone. Looking for the sunrise. I'm glad to go inside. Bahamas the sunrise be back after a short commercial break.
Treeline Divine Professional Sanitizing Company can meet all your cleaning needs. Sanitize to kill the COVID-19 virus, bacteria, mold, and more. Catering to offices, schools, clinics, and restaurants. Call us at 601-2213 or 437-2982 or email us at treelinedivine@gmail.com.
Do you want to know more about the scriptures, the early Christian church, its teachings, suffering, other religions, the authenticity of the Bible? The Anglican Theological Institute is for you. Enroll in a 3-year certificate program. Classes are conducted from NASA and Freeport on Saturday mornings. Don't miss a class. Stay connected anytime, anywhere, with high-speed internet. Contact us at 603-2481. Visit our Facebook page. Pick up an application form at any Anglican church or at Addington House on Sands Road. The Anglican Theological Institute is for you.
The sports we play depend on the health we build. So let's stay healthy. Wear a mask and practice social distancing and hand washing to protect yourself and others. Remember, COVID-19 is not a game.
A public service message from the Bahamas Olympic Committee.
Nourish your immune system, nourish your health, nourish your life with Ensure, Ensure Original, Ensure Plus, and Ensure Max Protein.
Welcome back to the show. The business community and the economy in general has been struggling amid the COVID-19 global pandemic. Our next guest has been urging the government to provide a comprehensive long-term post-coronavirus plan. He is Gowan Bowe, the Chief Financial Officer of the Fidelity Group, back on Bahamas at Sunrise, joining us to discuss this once again. Gowan, thank you so much for always taking the time to be available to us and the nation. You're quite busy and your words are always on point.
Appreciate it, Phil, and don't demote me. I actually got elevated to CEO. So,
well, I won't blame. You know what? You are the G-man, right? No doubt about that. No doubt about that. So used to just calling you Mr. President, but it's all the same. It's all the same. Listen, some interesting dialogue, obviously, in recent times relative to articulating a COVID exit plan. Why do you think that is so important? And you also mentioned this kind of slippery slope that we're on right now, transitioning between, what might be perception and reality with this virus.
well, I think, we've spoken on it many times, and I use the same illustration as a pilot. They set their GPS course, and every time they get knocked off, they have a course to come back to. And so I use that plan as the same corollary, that what we want is the ability to be able to look at a strategy, a document, if you will, a plan that allows us to say that, okay, as things knock us off. So in the last 2 days, we've seen, fairly large numbers. So does that knock us off our course or does it not? The articulation by the Prime Minister in his role as competent authority has been, we will watch the numbers. So we should have an understanding what the numbers are that they're watching, so that you have an ability to prepare yourself when certain things happen. So the worst thing that happens in a business is start and stop. And the reason being is because it is just like a freight train. It takes a lot of momentum to get building. It takes a lot to slow down. And when you're told to halt immediately, that's very difficult. So it's screeching brakes, and then to get started again. And so, you know, I think there's exuberance to say, you hear the term open, but I say we should temper it. I don't get too low when I see the negative numbers, and I don't get too high when I say open, because in our context, we really need to demonstrate as Bahamians that we can live with this, so that we can open up to the international economy in a more robust way. The domestic economy is, I'm going to call that the euphoria. That's for us to say that we feel like things are happening. But really, for the contribution to our economy, it has to be with the international persons. And the only way we do that is by demonstrating we are responsible enough to handle this as it currently exists.
And that speaks to the importance of foreign exchange. My daughter went off back to college the other day. And, at the time I said, well, let me see if I could get a couple of US dollars to put in her hand, So you do the normal drive around trying to find some, and it's none to be found, believe it or not. So.
And we get so used to it. I think that, with the foreign exchange, we hear so many things about it. And I think that's why I say the danger by not having a plan. We see the international bodies, IMF, the rating agencies, and others make commentary. We see some silly commentary going around about us taking an IMF loan and how we're now in a program, which we're not. And so it is important for the government to articulate that. I mean, the IMF one is we only borrowed against the money we already have. Right. So we, now it's almost like a cash secured loan. So if you have a term deposit in the bank of $100,000 and you go for a $100,000 loan, you haven't borrowed in essence. You've just leveraged your own assets, and that's what we've done. So I think you're very right. When we start talking about the international economy, the international participation, foreign currency, there's so much to be said. And when we do not articulate it in a very coherent and comprehensive manner, people panic regardless of your, if you will, placating to say things are okay and things will be better. People want to see something to demonstrate that that is true.
Right. And, I don't want to say it boils down to one word, but certainly there has to be stability within the planning. There has to be confidence, not just investor confidence, but consumer and just general people confidence in terms of business, et cetera. What should we be expecting from the Economic Recovery Committee? Because again, the Prime Minister has spoken that he will be speaking more to the Economic Recovery Plan. And there's been a lot of work that's been happening behind the scenes, but we still haven't really heard, or it's been communicated in a clear and articulate way.
I'll be candid and say I don't know what's going to come out of it, but I will know what I expect. When we started the National Development Plan several years ago, it had an economic pillar. What that economic pillar had, it had looked at where we had elements of foreign direct investment and the low contribution that stayed in the country after it. It spoke about land policy. It spoke about what we are as a nation in terms of our vision and plan and what we want to become. I think it is foolhardy to believe that the economic recovery is going to have a panacea or a silver bullet that is going to say they're going to fire one shot in September and is going to solve all our woes. It is going to be it has to be a plan that is over a period of at least 5 years, but with incremental steps that says these are the immediate steps, these are the medium term and then long term. And to be honest, I only see that as a stopgap for the National Development Plan, meaning that we have to be talking 25 years. But what I would say is that we have an ability now to set the course in the right direction, meaning that we start having the discussions over land policy. We start having the discussions over Bahamian entrepreneurship and investment and participation in international investment. So I've heard the conversation about approving all projects in the pipeline. Well, let's make sure we're approving it in a manner that says every project coming in gives Bahamian participation, not free, money where your mouth is, but we have built up accumulated savings by certain persons, give them the opportunity to deploy that in the development of their country. And so, to me, I think we've reinvented the wheel quite bluntly in terms of the Economic Recovery Committee. It should have just continued the National Development Plan. And I think the danger is this: we cannot talk about the economy and economic recovery in a vacuum. It has to go along with governance, the natural and built environment that we have, and the social elements that go into it. And what does that translate into? The National Development Plan.
Yeah, well, listen, Garwin, always so eloquent. One final question, because, you know, planning is obviously purposeful, and but today, I mean, literally today, you have businesses that are on the cusp of complete elimination. So what do you say to those business persons, those businesses that are seeking to survive in this moment?
It is now turned into collective responsibility. And I'm saying to businesses in our country have always been very insular in the terms of how they fund themselves, how they get into business in general. It is usually an entrepreneur or his family or her family that puts it together. We have to start looking at our peer groups. We have to start looking at our counterparts and those individuals who are like-minded to say that, you know what, me as an individual, it is a struggle. Me with 5 like-minded individuals, don't have to be drinking buddies and always out there, but with a structure and a proper legal entity that allows us to each be accountable, to say that we have to be more open-minded to different sources of capital. We traditionally see it as the banks and, okay, I go out and raise capital as the single entrepreneur. If you look at the largest companies, even Facebook, Google, Amazon, the largest face person doesn't hold more than 20% of those companies. So what does that tell you? You don't need to be the boss by having 80% of a company, 51%. You need to be the boss by the direction and the strategy. And if you can do that and get people in sort of built in and on board with you, then you're able to do so. And I think the business community is going to have to look at all avenues of saying, how do we work collectively so that we collectively rise all ships by a rising tide?
Listen, absolutely. Again, Garwin, you put it succinctly, and it's called business, it's called community. Listen, Garwin Bowe, CEO of the Fidelity Group. Thank you so much. You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
Treeline Divine Professional Sanitizing Company can meet all your cleaning needs. Sanitize to kill the COVID-19 virus, bacteria, mold, and more. Catering to offices, schools, clinics, and restaurants. Call us at 601-2213 or 437-2982 or email us at treelinedivine@gmail.com.
Do you want to know more about the scriptures, the early Christian church, its teachings, suffering, other religions, the authenticity of the Bible? The Anglican Theological Institute is for you. Enroll in a 3-year certificate program. Classes are conducted from NASA and Freeport on Saturday mornings. Don't miss a class. Stay connected anytime, anywhere, with high-speed internet. Contact us at 603-2481. Visit our Facebook page. Pick up an application form at any Anglican church or at Addington House on Sands Road. The Anglican Theological Institute is for you.
The sports we play depend on the health we build. So let's stay healthy. Wear a mask and practice social distancing and hand washing to protect yourself and others. Remember, COVID-19 is not a game.
A public service message from the Bahamas Olympic Committee.
Nourish your immune system, nourish your health, nourish your life with Ensure, Ensure Original, Ensure Plus, and Ensure Max Protein.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. So beginning yesterday evening, August 27th, and continuing today on the 28th, the Elks Grand Lodge is hosting the 2020 Virtual March on Washington. And here to discuss this powerful event is the Honorable Leonard Polk Jr., Grand Exalted Ruler of the Elks Lodge. Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise, sir.
Good morning, sir. Very, very happy and proud to be here.
Thank you for giving us your time. So we heard from some of your members earlier in the week about the Elks Grand Lodge and its significance with regard to the civil rights movement and the Black liberation movement, not only in the United States, but and in the Bahamas. Can you just tell us a little bit about the history of the lodge and how it played an instrumental role in those movements?
Oh, sure, I'd be happy to. The Elks, the Improved Benevolent Protective Order of Elks of the World, has been working hand in hand with civil liberties for a long time. The origin of our commitment to civil liberties began back in 1925, and we've been in support of civil liberties since then. We played a pivotal role in the civil rights movements with Dr. King in the late 50s and early 60s, even continuing up to now. What we did was the Elks, along with the African American churches, provided the venues so that in the role of support of the civil rights movement, when the other organizations, when the organizations could not meet elsewhere, the actual proving grounds, if you will, were the Elks homes, and where all of the planning and all of the logistical work for the marches and all of the support took place. So the Elks have played a pivotal role in the civil rights movement for a long, long time.
Powerful. That's very powerful. Tell us why the Order of the Elks and organizations like that are necessary at that level of organization and structure for a cause such as our civil liberties. Why is the Elks Order important?
Well, the Elks Order is important because, once again, as we are seeing from the videos and the pictures from around the world, racism has not taken a day off. Racism is still prevalent, unfortunately, and even today, after gaining some rights and improving in some areas, it is still a vocal point, if you will, or a point that we have to focus on every single day. And so our commitment to eradicate social injustice and racism is a continuing nature. Unfortunately, our organization has to be at the forefront to speak for those who don't have a voice. Our organization has to lift up those who are less fortunate than we are. And we use our voice from a national perspective and international perspective in order to lend to that conversation and lend our supports to that effort. It is vitally important and critically important that we remain connected with our community. And one of our tenets of our organization is to make sure that we reach out in a charitable way and make a positive impact on our community. So our commitment and support to the victims of social injustice, our commitment and support to eradicating racism everywhere, wherever it may be, and our support of our communities, especially internationally, along with our Bahamian Elk family, is very, very critical and important to us.
Yes, fully agreed from me and from us here in my virtual studio. So tell us about the virtual march and tell us about the events taking place today.
Well, the virtual march begins on Thursday or on tonight at the 27th. And what we do there is basically the beginnings and the prayer vigils, if you will, and folks will have an opportunity to be able to be spiritually connected prior to the actual march on tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, we will begin at the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. And we will be live streaming all of those events, including all of the speeches that come from the reflection pool in honor of Dr. King's dream and our recommitment to making sure his dream still becomes a reality. And then later on that evening, we will all receive, in addition to some entertainment, as well as some more spiritual support as well. We will actually have the actual charge as far as our commitment moving forward and what we intend to do in coordinating and in support of Dr. King's dream, including our commitment to voting in the upcoming election and things of that importance.
Yes, it is very important, and we must reiterate that your voice
Absolutely.
can be heard in the voting polls. So get out and vote, right?
Absolutely.
People.
We have to get out and vote. That is our God-given right, and people have died for the opportunity to do so. And so it's very, very important that all of us take an opportunity, especially in this upcoming election. The stakes are too high. I know we like to deal with hyperbole and a lot of different things in terms of elections coming up. This is the most important election of a lifetime. Well, if you've had the opportunity to live in the United States here for the last 40 years, you know this is the most important election of your lifetime. That's for sure.
That is agreed. I agree with that. So how can we find out more about the march and about the Elks Lodge?
Well, certainly you can go to our website. Our website is ibpoew.org, and you can receive all the information on the virtual march. We're also partnering with the NAACP as well. And if you even go to the NAACP.org site as well, you can, there'll be plenty of icons you can click on to get any further information. But more importantly, we'll have links where people who are unable to get out, and I know in some areas of the Bahamas even today are at stay-at-home orders and things of that nature, you will still be able to live stream and be a part of virtually of the march and be right there with us in support. And we appreciate all the support we can get from the Bahamas family, that's for sure.
Definitely, we're all one family in different bodies.
That's right, that's
so
right.
Tell me, for those of us that will tune in to the virtual march, what's the message that you want to portray to the viewers, and what do you hope will be accomplished?
Well, the message is that there has to be a continuing commitment to our communities, our continuing commitment to eradicate racism wherever it is, whether it's in the Bahamas or whether it's in the United States or around the world. And more importantly, our continued commitment to the dream that Dr. King so eloquently put back in 1963, that it is way past the time to judge each and every individual by the content of their character rather than the color of their skin. And it's also important that we realize that we are one community and that we have to do whatever we can to lift one another up, especially when times of need. And that time is now. Social injustice does not take a night off or a day off, and we have to continually be vigilant about making sure that we're in support of eradicating that and looking out for the victims of social injustice wherever we can.
Amen. I received that. I received that 110%. Honorable Leonard Polk, thank you for coming on our show today. Thank you for bringing us that powerful message, and we look forward to tuning into the virtual march happening on Friday, happening later today. Thank you for your time. Thank you for coming on our show.
Well, thank you very much, and God bless you, and God bless the improved, benevolent, protective order of Elks of the World family. Thank you very much.
You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
All right.
Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Bahamas at Sunrise. Thank you so much for joining us, Gandhi.
Yeah, thank you. And I want to say I saw a video with Brave Davis, I guess, returning home. So happy to see that the leader of the opposition is doing well. I want to say a speedy recovery to Linda Stubbs. She had an accident the other day while decorating. I want to say condolences to the family of Anna Lord and the Nassau Guardian family. She passed away. Such a beautiful, bright soul. So sending love to everybody. And Phil, I have a quote.
Yes.
I say to you today, my friends, that in spite of the difficulties and frustrations of the moment, I still have a dream. The words of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. We'll have the pastor of his church in Atlanta, Ebenezer Baptist Church, Dr. Raphael Warnock on with us on Monday. And I say to each and every one of you out there, pick up the dream.
Yeah, well said, Gandhi. And in addition to that, I also want to remind everybody, listen, the numbers are still increasing. Continue to be safe. We're going to see you again on Bahamas at Sunrise Monday morning. Have a wonderful week. Bye.